guys! So a lot of you have been leaving questions on either my just regular videos or on my kind of ear stretching related videos that you want to know how to convince your parents and also like how to hide them from work and such. I know some people are asking like how to hide them from your parents, but I would not recommend stretching your ears if your parents do not approve of it. If you are under 18, if you're above 18, I guess if you still live in their house, just to follow their rules. Like, I would not have stretched my ears if my parents did not consent, but they did, so I was able to. If you don't know, my ears are stretched to 2 gauge. I don't have anything in them right now just because they're getting a little bit bigger than a 2 gauge, so I just kind of took them out, and sometimes I just like to leave my ears naked, but this is what they look like in case you are curious. So, yeah. So I do have a couple tips and tricks on I guess how to convince your parents and how to cover them or conceal them or anything like that. So first, my main trick is if you are under, I'd say maybe a 0 or a 00 gauge, then you are able to use this method. Chaos Software I know has good like flesh toned ones, and also they have different colors because since I'm very fair and pale, I can't just wear the average ones, so this method is something that I got because my school's like kind of prom is coming up in like 2 weeks, I think. So I just got these plugs at Hot Topic, and this is what they look like. They are just like cubic zirconia, I'm not sure, and they have screw-on backs. You unscrew the back and voila, you put it in your, wait! So yeah, you just screw on the back and then that's how it stays on. These are perfect because not only, because the flesh-toned ones, it can be a little obvious if like your hair's in a ponytail, but these, no one would ever guess unless I guess they see the back of your head. But these are such a brilliant way to cover them up, and I don't know why people don't utilize it more often. From all the videos I've YouTubed on how to hide your plugs, I have not seen this method before, and I don't understand why, because it's literally the easiest method ever. And sometimes, like I said, for prom I'm going to wear these because I wouldn't really want like just like regular like tunnels or plugs in, so I got these pretty little diamonds. Obviously they're fake diamonds, but I forgot how much they were at Hot Topic. You could also order some online, but I think it is the perfect way to cover them up, and I'll show you what it looks like in your ear. So as you can see, it does a really good job. It does kind of stick out of the ear a little bit, but I think that's normal for any earring. But you would never guess that I had stretched ears. There is like really no way of knowing, like I said. And it's a foolproof. Like I said, I don't understand why people don't utilize them more often. Personally, I never had to hide my stretched ears from anything. Sometimes if I was like around my grandparents, I'd like put ones that weren't like tunnels. And when I say that, like I know some people are like, well, you should never stretch your ears if you're going to have to hide it from certain people. It's not that I regret it, or that if I did wear tunnels one day that I would still go over to their house for like dinner or something. However, I just would prefer not to, and that is my own personal, reason, and I don't feel like it's anything bad. Like I just, prefer to cover it up. Of course, if they ask me, are your ears stretched? I'd say yes, but I just prefer not to go into detail. So people ask if it's been an issue at my work for having stretched ears, and personally it has not for me. It never came up once. I wore a ponytail every day that I saw my manager, and he never brought it up once. He never asked about it. That may not be the case everywhere, but that was it for me. And also, kind of like the other manager, he has a scaffold or industrial piercing, so and then another coworker of mine had a nose, so at least I know my work isn't, problematic with piercings. And I guess stretched ears too. I guess if my ears are bigger it might be an issue, but at least at a 2 gauge it wasn't. Like I said, that may not be the case everywhere, and some jobs they may still hire you, but it might come up. And like I said, the diamond way is a perfect way. However, if you're not really into that look, then you could just get the flesh-toned colored ones. Personally, I just don't, these are fine and it's never an issue with me, but that could be a method too. So that's pretty much the only tip I have for covering your ears. Now, obviously, the bigger you get, the more obvious they'll be, so if you're planning on hiding them from something or someone, I would not suggest going too big, because it's a point where if the diamond's this big, it's going to be a little obvious that your ears are stretched. So now moving on to how to convince your parents. For me, it was very easy because my parents are very okay with body modifications. My dad has tattoos everywhere, as well as my stepdad, and my mom has, I think, 3 small tattoos. So it's not uncommon for me. That is why I do have a tattoo. I have a whole video on that as well. Similar situation where it didn't take much convincing. I actually had to talk to my dad a little bit more to make sure I wanted to get a nose piercing more than my ears, just because it was on my face, and he wasn't against it. He just wanted to make sure that this decision is going to be one that you'll, like, it's a scar you'll be able to see for a long time. And that was another issue. My parents didn't want me to go too big where it would not, you know, shrink back, and at a 2 gauge they will. As you can see, they are very small and they'll shrink back with no problem. Personally, I would love to go bigger. I would love to go to a 00 or even bigger. So you have to address them in a very not intense way, and if they say no, don't give up, but also don't be rude or mean about it. Be understanding, because it is something that is odd, and many people picture something that's not going to shrink back. Unless your intentions are going to, like, you know, inch or whatever, something where obviously it's not going to shrink back, let them know that your intentions are to go small, or at least start small and take it from there. You can tell them that it does shrink back. That was something that my mom was like, does it really? Like, that seems like a bunch of BS. She's like, I'll let you do it, but don't lie to me. And I'm like, no, honestly, they do. And my ears are very, like, I've only had them out for like 2 hours and they've already been noticeably smaller. Like, my ears are very elastic, so especially for me it's not an issue, but if your ears aren't, then maybe stick to the smaller sizes. Like, I could even go to maybe a 0 or a 00 and they might shrink back, but like I said, I'm not going to risk it. So I'd say to come up to them is explain to them what you want and what the process is. A lot of parents think, like, do they just like cookie cut your ear? Like, how do you stretch your ears? Oh, there's my dog barking. I think she's done, but there may be a goose goosing around. Goosing around? What do goose do, honk? Can you hear it? Anyways, just try to ignore this stupid goose. I want my window open because it's hella hot in here. Anyways, so you want to explain to them how you stretch your ears. So you want to let them know that it's just a small little taper, and you push it through, and you start very small, and the sizes gradually increase, and, you know, explain to them what exactly you're going to do, and have them maybe research themselves if they're interested at this point. Also, like I said, let them know that you're not going to go to the extremes. Even if you do eventually, you can reach that point then. Once you reach the size that they're okay with, then you can be like, hey, can I go bigger? But for the meantime, don't be like, well, I'll go, and then I'll ask you when just tell them that you'll only go to a certain size, and then they can pick out the size they want or anything like that. My dad did have one stretched ear to an 8 gauge, and he had that in for like a couple years, and he just took it out recently. So when I talked to him about it, he was totally fine. He was like, oh yeah, because obviously he already had one, but he did take it out. And then my mom, I just talked to her, and it was pretty simple, so it's a little hard to, I guess, give an example about my parents. However, if you saw my ear stretching video, the first couple ones If you did see my stretching video, the first couple ones were with my friend Hannah, and her parents took the convincing. Because I told her that I was going to start stretching my ears, and she said she wanted to too, and I already ordered my kit, I was ready to go, and she told me to wait for her, and so we had to convince her parents, so it delayed my ear stretching process like a month or two. But then we ended up doing it together because their parents let her. So how we went about convincing her parents is, like I said, she came up to her mom, and her mom said no. And so she kind of kept bringing it up to her mom, but not in annoying, pesky ways. Now, obviously, I wasn't there for the conversations, but I would help her out, and I'd be like, okay, maybe you just ask her mom what her reasons are why that she doesn't want you to. If it is that they won't shrink back, tell her that they will. Her mom's main reason is because the people that have those are seen as, like, you know, the creepy goth punks, and my friend, you know, I think they're like out to eat, and they saw like their waitress or waiter had them, and so she was like, see mom, not everybody that has them is like emo goth. So it's like the stereotype, and so she had to break that stereotype for her mom and tell her that like normal people have this, and that's kind of what helped them. And I think that's also something that parents are not into, is because of the stereotype, like you're gonna be seen as like one of those kids, and it's like, no mom, like that's not how it works anymore, or whoever you're trying to convince. And I don't think freaks have them, because I have them. Granted, I'm a little bit of a freak. No, I'm just kidding. But just kind of break the stereotype and know that you don't have to go 0 to 100 real quick. It's gradual, and you can stay at a small size like me. So I'm sorry I don't have any more advice. I don't know what else there is much to give, just because, like I said, my case was so easy, and my friend's case, she did more of the talking with her mom, not me, obviously. She did, her mom and I are, you know, we like talk and stuff, we're pretty close, so she did talk to me about it, and like, what did your parents think? And I told her, like, my dad has one, my mom didn't care and stuff, so I think that helped too. But if you do have any more questions or need advice, you can ask down below, and I'm sure me or any other one of the commenters will help you out. That's one thing I like about my kind of like ear stretching videos and stuff, and other ones really. You guys help each other out, so that's nice too, just because sometimes like in this case, I don't have much experience with convincing my parents because I didn't really have to, so I'm sure someone else in the comments who had to convince their parents, they can help you out more so, but I still can answer some of your questions. Side note, I just wanted to put this out, and I want to know what you guys think, and also if any of you have it done, how yours went. I have been wanting to get my septum pierced for almost a year now, and I want it so bad, and I can go get it like tomorrow. My parents would take me and sign the waiver. I'd obviously have to pay for it, but they would be okay with it. But I think I kind of want to do it on my 18th birthday or once I get into like college and stuff. But lately I've been like, I really want one so bad, and like the only thing is though, it's like one of the most judged piercings. Because everyone calls you a bull, and like, even like, it's just, my parents will let me get it, but they're not like, cool, like that's a cool piercing. Like when I got my cartilage, Mom was like, yeah, totally, in my nose. They're like, that's so cute. But septum, they're like, if you want whatever floats your boat, but I want one so bad. And even my friends are like, maybe not. And I'm like, well, too bad. But so if you guys have your septum, please let me know in the comments, like, how'd you deal with it with like other people and stuff. And I know like not to care what other people think, and obviously, you know, I'm gonna get it no matter what if people tell me not to, or if they do tell me to get it, but it's just something to keep in mind. But I'm not scared about like the pain or anything. Like that's not something I think about. Like if I want to get a piercing, the pain's not gonna stop me. But I don't know, I want one so bad. And do you think it'd look good on me? I'd just get like a small little horseshoe curved circular barbell, what do they call them? I don't know, the little thing. And then I'd obviously change this to just a stud, because I feel like the double hoop might get a little crowded in my nose area. If you do want to know where I got like my ear stretching kit and stuff like that, it is all in my ear stretching video. It's from BotFX, because I know I will get questions on it, and I even do in that video, even though I have the link, it's like the first link in the description, but just thought I'd put it out there. I do have that link there on that video, and you get sizes like the smallest size all the way to 00, so it's a nice kit, and it's only like 30 bucks, I think. I also want to thank you guys so much for just being so nice in the comments. Kind of my videos that aren't like really widely known, so thank you for watching, and hopefully this video wasn't too long for you guys, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!